of Marketing Cloud delivery at Relation Edge, which is a consulting practice that is based in the US and in the UK. And I will be talking about Einstein Engagement Scoring, which is a Marketing Cloud feature. And out of curiosity, how many of y'all are Marketing Cloud users today? One. Okay, cool. So we'll talk a lot about Marketing Cloud, which is great. Okay, so a little bit about me. You've probably gathered this from my accent. I am not from here. I'm from the US, and I'm actually based in Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. But I was invited to speak, and I'm speaking here. So I've been working in the Salesforce platform, both Salesforce and Marketing Cloud, since 2009. So that was well before ExactTarget was actually acquired. This was, for anyone back in those days, this is like the V2 connector days I think we were on. Now we're on V5, right? So I started as a Salesforce admin. I ran a few orgs myself and then moved into consulting. The last few years I've been consulting in higher ed, nonprofits, and then a lot of retail commercial businesses. You may have seen me before. I speak all the time, so I've spoke the last few connections that they've had, Dreamforce, Higher Ed Summit, and various user groups around the world. All right. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What is Einstein Engagement Scoring? Now, you hear Einstein a lot these days. Almost half the new products that have come out have the name Einstein in front of it. Einstein Analytics, right? Formerly Wave. Einstein Lead Scoring. Einstein AI. Einstein Natural Language Processor. And there's about 7 more that I just got tired of writing up. That is not what we're talking about. I'm very sorry if these were the things you wanted to talk about. I hope there's another session later this afternoon, but that's not us. We're talking about Einstein Engagement Scoring, which is a tool within Marketing Cloud specifically. It is free. Yay! So if you have the top 2 license types, corporate or enterprise, you already have it. The reason why I'm doing this talk is out of the 10 customers I saw last month, 8 of them had this tool and never turned it on. So this is a tool they are paying for, and most customers are paying for it and just have never turned it on. So we're going to show you how to do that today. We're going to walk through what to do with that data and how to make it actionable for your Marketing Cloud orgs. All right? But the basis of what Einstein Engagement Scoring, it's a proprietary AI that exists within Marketing Cloud. It allows you to model your subscribers and understand their predictive behavior on how they're going to engage with your emails, which will allow you to better target them so that you're leveraging your marketing dollars to its maximum. Okay? And why should you care? So less than 5% of email marketers actually use engagement scoring today. So if you can leverage this tool, you can be well ahead of the game. And this last Black Friday and like the whole Cyber Week, it was 7% of all emails. It led to 37% of all conversions of Cyber Week. That's incredible, right? Out of all the millions of emails you guys received, the ones that could leverage these predictive tools are the ones that are converting the most. So this really does put you up ahead of all of your competitors if you learn how to turn on the tool. Again, most of you guys already have it if you have Marketing Cloud. Okay? Again, it's about using your campaign spend and being able to hit your goals with a better return on investment. And we're going to talk through how you do that. So today, customers are expecting to not be a number. They want personalized content, right? You see this time and time again from MailChimp, Litmus, all those great the state of marketing reports that come out. Customers want personalized email content, which also includes frequency and timing. And that's where Einstein Engagement Scoring can help you. Okay? So we have the data, right? You have the data in your org. It's not enough. The most important thing is leveraging the data you guys have. So leveraging the engagement, the past engagement history to understand and predictively model what they're going to do next. Understanding their dislikes, likes, when they're most likely to open, when they're most likely to convert and buy. Okay? And this picture has nothing to do with the actual tool. This is just my PSA announcement on how to spell sneak correctly. Okay. So this is how you turn on Einstein Engagement Scoring. Sorry, I don't have a demo. I didn't trust the internet here. So I have everything in GIFs. But you can see it is that easy. You just go to Analytics, Einstein Engagement Scoring, and you click the button, and you turn it on. That's it. Yay! Right? It literally is that easy. Now, what happens? If you haven't sent any emails, you're going to see that because there's no data for it to model. So this is a fine line. You should not be using it day one. It's not going to be very good day one. But 3 to 6 months in, as you've sent emails, it's going to be much better. And I will say that timing really based off your frequency and volume. If you're sending 1 email a month, it's going to take a little bit longer than 3 to 6 months, right? If you're sending regular email messages week in and week out, you're going to get good data around 3 months and great data around 6 months, and even better the longer you use it, right? And you can be using Marketing Cloud today, not have it turned on, turn it on, and it will be good if you've been using Marketing Cloud for over a year because the data is already there. It's more about if you had not turned it on yet, or if you've not sent any emails yet, okay? So all it is taking all of your data history that's already in Marketing Cloud and then providing a predictive behavior modeling. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is what Einstein Engagement Scoring is. So I have this a few times. You guys will get used to seeing this page, but this is basically what you're paying for, and this is what you get. So what it does is it takes your entire subscriber base, and it looks at, and it puts it into 4 different categories: win-back dormant, window shoppers, selective subscribers, and loyalists. I'll talk about that in a second. You also get 4 additional dashlets, which show you the email open prediction, email click prediction, web conversion prediction, and email unsubscribe. So based off of all these subscribers, what are they likely going to do next? And we'll drill down into each of these, okay? The big thing to know is web conversion prediction. If you don't have the web collect code on your website, you're not going to get that dashlet, okay? So it takes using all of Marketing Cloud to get all of Marketing Cloud here. But as long as you're sending emails, you'll get the rest of them. All right? So let's talk about those 4 different audiences that Einstein Engagement Scoring puts it into. So again, the 4 actions that we talked about, the different dashlets, are who's going to be subscribed, who's going to open an email, who's going to click an email, and who's going to convert on the website. And then within that, you also get 4 audience types. So you get 4 actions and 4 audience types. Your audience types are your loyalists. So those are your most likely to open and then click that email. So those are your great subscribers. Those are the ones you want to give discounts to, right? They're your loyalists, they're your advocates, they're your brand ambassadors. So whatever you can do to help them out, help them out. Your window shoppers, those are the people that are going to open your emails but not click through. So we're going to talk about strategies on how to get them to click in a second, okay? Your selective subscribers, those are the people that they're not going to open, but when they open, they click and they convert. So we'll talk about strategies on how to get them to open, or what's the right frequency and timing to work with these so that you're sending the messages they want when they need it, and they're going to convert more often, and you're not annoying them. And then finally, your win-back and dormant. Those are people that aren't doing anything, and we can talk through re-engagement strategies for them. Any questions? Okay. So let's talk about the email engagement prediction. So these are your 4 different groups, right? And this is how it looks. Where you want people to be is in this corner. So you can see in this corner, not the best. It's okay, this is our fake demo environment, so I'm not a very good subscriber in my own environment, or the 12 of us that are, which is why I use percentages and not actual. So don't be too afraid for this brand, it's just ourselves. But I wanted to show you, because the first time I showed this to a client, they're like, well, I can tell you what my subscribers are. What am I going to do with it? What's the now what of what do I do with this data? We're going to talk through that in those strategies right after this, okay? But hopefully you guys don't have one when you turn it on that looks like this. If you do, we can fix it. Okay. So a couple other things in the dashboard to actually understand and know, and I just blew these up. These were the little dashlets, right, around the big chart. So a couple things. Your model confidence, right, it's over there. That's how likely this model or how good this model is. And this is where we're in the 1-year time frame. It's feeling pretty good, right? So you can look at this. So take these with a grain of salt. Don't look at that number and say, oh my gosh, my subscriber retention is 99.8%. Let's just flood all these emails because they're not going to unsubscribe. These are just details to help you make the right data-driven decisions. That model confidence is really just showing you how likely this, or how good we're feeling about this AI, right? So if it's on like that first little thing, yeah, take it with a grain of sand. 2, you're feeling pretty good, and 3, it's really good and very likely. Okay? And it also compares this week to last week. And this is another one where I wouldn't make any revolutionary marketing changes to your campaigns, et cetera. It's just something for you to be able to look at and understand what's going on, right? This is comparing the average likelihood. So last week, you were a lot higher average likelihood than this week. You guys might have over flooded your subscribers or something where they think that it's going to be less likely. The good news is you can actually click into this, and this is what pops up. So when you click into those dashlets, you actually see why. And you can see what's based on all that, and this will replay, so I'll let it play again. So again, you click into the email open dashlet, and it shows you your audience, and then it shows you the reasons why, okay? Again, more about being able to make those data-driven decisions. And I'll do another one. So this is for the email click prediction. Again, these are just showing you the features of the tool. So in this dashboard, you click in, there's your audience. These are the top indicating influences, and why, what's been positive and what's been negative, and why you're at where you're at. And then you're going to see, you can actually drill in a little bit farther. Sorry, I was really slow when I did this, apparently, when I was recording my screen. Oh. Okay. So you can see, you can actually click into this Learn More, and you can see a little bit more information about your audience and what a typical audience, what your typical audience will do here. All right. So again, this is all really nice information. It can make you feel good. It can really make you bang your head against a wall if it's not good numbers, right? But let's talk about why this is important, how you can actually change your behavior to change their behavior. Okay. I think I kind of talked through these, but a couple of things before we talk about strategies, a couple of things to note. This model can't be changed. It is proprietary information, so if you wanted to base it off a different or include something else, not going to happen. Salesforce has this locked down, okay? So you get what you get with this. It's very nice, but I have a lot of clients that ask me, can I include this item? You really can't update this or change it, unfortunately. If you have an older org and you have the right license type, it may or may not have been procured. So you might have to create a case with Salesforce Marketing Cloud. They turn it on. It should take about 2 or 3 days, okay? It's a pretty quick back-end item that they just need to turn on. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean you don't have it. Look at your license types, okay? Mm-hmm.
So I get the idea that the model doesn't necessarily follow it, but Salesforce give you the version of the models that they're running, as in see if they update their AI solution.
Yeah.
You know that your version now to your version 1.
Yeah, so the question was, if Salesforce makes an update, do they tell you what version you're on, and even do they tell you when they update it? Yes, they'll tell you in the release notes that they've updated it. Typically, they just push it down to everyone. So it's not like you can choose what version you're on, you just get the newest updated.
So you really expect after, say, a Salesforce release that those potential numbers, would it be a good idea to take a snapshot of those numbers before after release, so you can check them?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, just to see what's changed or what's changing in the model. It's more important to know that it is changing, and so your numbers might change, which again means take it with a grain of salt. Back to the first point, right? The third point, always look at the numbers, know what they are, but take it with a grain of salt. It really shouldn't help you overhaul and change all of your marketing procedures, right? So it's helpful information to know, but especially when they're making some of those minor tweaks and changes to the AI to make it better, just be aware that they're doing that so that if your numbers change, it's not too scary. Mm-hmm.
Are there any resources about what defines the model concept in detail? Statistical point of view, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
These little dots mean, if you drill down into it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of information. So there was like a learn more and you can click.
Yeah.
It's like 2 sentences. I'll warn you now, it's not the amazing Salesforce documentation you might have. They keep it pretty, what's the right word? Less documented.
Yeah, that's my concern because they advertise it, Einstein, and it's amazing. But you have to know statistically what you're getting yourself into and what does these numbers, what do they mean?
So there's a little bit more information in the documentation. I can show you where that's at, but it's not. I'm not gonna like say it's the best documentation out there. It's pretty broad. Mhm. Yeah. So these are kind of the 3 things to know about it. That being said, oh sorry, I was just doing another picture of the dashboard. So now that we've talked about the different cards and how you can click into them and everything else, again, when you log in, this is the main page that you see. I think this is the one to look at the most, to be honest with you. As I've used it, I look a lot less at the unsubscribe. If there's a big jump, I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Wonder what we did. And I'll look back at what campaigns we sent, that kind of thing. I'll look a little bit at email click and web conversion, but I really look at where the audience is trending to more than anything else, okay? Because this on a week-to-week basis, there's only so much we're gonna control or change to that matter. If it's consistently low and month over month consistently low, it's definitely time for a good conversation with the marketing team, right? On how we can make this better, but I'm not really like looking at those all the time, if that helps you guys. Okay. So now's the now what, right? We have a pretty dashboard, but what do we do with it? I now know my unsubscribe rate is 99.8%, but what is that gonna make me do, right? So really this is about leveraging this in Journey Builder. So this is where this gets cool, right? Other than having a dashboard and seeing a pretty number and sending it to my boss of look at how good we are, this is where this gets actionable. So this is gonna walk you through how to leverage it in Journey Builder. This is a demo environment of mine. Oops, let me click one more time. So I'm gonna warn you, there's gonna be some things you have or don't have in here, like Google 360 you may not have access to, right? But what happens is you get the little Einstein engagement split, and when you click onto him, you can decide how you want to split him. So it can be the persona split, which is what I call audiences, and then the additional splits of that specific like web conversion likelihood, or that click likelihood if you want to just have that. I typically do the audience ones, and sorry, I don't like their use of personas because I feel like that's not a real persona. I relabel that in my brain to audience. Sorry, I'm gonna go through that again. That was a little fast, but as it's going, the really important things is it creates those different paths for those different audiences. And this is where you can really think about your campaign spend and your marketing dollars and leveraging it correctly. So, you know, let's give the discounts to my point to your loyalists, right? We can send them different emails. To the win-back dormants, maybe you have the wrong email address. They're not looking at email anymore. Put an ad in front of them. Maybe if you have a mobile app, do a push, right? You can target them via other channels because obviously email's not working. So I'm gonna talk you through some of the strategies we do. Sorry, that GIF was a little fast when I did that. So let's talk about what this is, you know, the same information I give my clients every day. So when they're asking me, so now what? I have a pretty dashboard. This is what we tell them to do. So you guys are getting this free. So for our loyalists, we say ramp up the call to action, right? See what else you can do. They're a fun group to work with because you know they're going to interact with you. So a lot of testing that we do, we actually do with the loyalists the most, just to drown out the noise of everything else to see what's working. And it's also just, those are the group that they're your brand ambassadors and stuff, so they're the ones that I try and push fun campaigns out to, discounts, whatever you can do there, because they're doing what they should be doing. Your window shoppers. So this is about increasing the click rate. So this is where you're going to A/B test different types of emails. You can try putting the button at the very top, changing the look and feel of your buttons, right? Something's not working. They're opening, but they're not clicking through. So maybe you have to change how you're marketing to these people or the words you're using because there's something that's not working well. Okay. Your selective shoppers. So these are the ones that they don't open very often, but when they open, they click through and they convert. So what we're going to do with those is it's likely that you just need to focus on the subject line, right? So for those, you can do dynamic content with subject lines so that now you're not creating, 15 different emails for all these different audiences. You can just create dynamic content subject line or A/B testing subject line. And for this specific group in audience level, you can leverage it so that they get a more interesting subject line, or you can test different subject lines with them, right? And then your dormant re-engage. A lot of times, I'll say, just don't even do anything with them now. Throw them into a specific nurturing re-engagement campaign. Let's see, does that make sense? So most of your big marketing campaigns we'll make into these splits. We'll say get an email, email ad, whatever you guys want to do there. But for this group, I say leave it alone, and let's try and nurture them back to health, right? So that's just a group I wouldn't spend a lot of money on, and instead, just use them specifically in a nurturing campaign. Does that make sense? Any questions? Cool. So this is an example journey of what we just talked about. And I only did the first couple of steps. You can continue on through, right? But this is, and I should say, when you do a persona split, you also get a remainder. So these are the people we don't have enough information on. Maybe they just newly subscribed to you guys, right? We don't have enough of an information to put them in an audience type. So I usually join them with the win-back dormant or the loyalist, assuming if they are just newly engaged with you, they're going to follow your loyalist path, okay? So again, here in Journey Builder, you create your different paths. So in the loyalist, just like we talked about, we have a compelling CTA. We're splitting to see if they engage with us, if they opened or clicked, right? And then you can send them an SMS or whatever you want to do. Because they're your loyalist group, I would use the more expensive super messages, like the SMS, because they're going to interact with you, right? And it's a good use of your spend. For your selective shoppers, we're just going to test 2 versions of the email and see what's going on there and seeing what might be better and how we can better interact with them. For your window shoppers, we're going to test an innovative subject line via dynamic content, right? And then maybe if they did click, we're just going to wait and continue on. If they did not, we're going to send them a push notification. We're going to just try and see if there's a better medium to connect with them with, right? Maybe it's just they don't open emails as often, so maybe they need an ad in front of them or an SMS push or what have you. And then finally, your win-back dormant, you can do a re-engage, or you can just, like I said, I usually just leave them blank and let them just go to a nurturing campaign. Okay? Any questions?
In terms of classifying prospects,
Mhm.
loyalists, would that include existing customers and prospects as well?
Yeah, so it's less about, so he asked if how these are being classified as far as loyalists, if it's prospects or customers. This is more about how they're engaging with you and less about what they're actually doing. That's why I call them audience types and not personas. So within there, you can do like a decision split of different personas, like are prospect or not, or ideally based off of what your Salesforce data in campaign is, you're sending the prospects different information than current customers, right? So you're actually segmenting them out separately. This is a predictive modeling behavior on how they're most likely to engage with your content. Okay, so we create those personas elsewhere.
So what does loyal mean then?
Yeah, they're most likely to open, click, and convert.
Okay, a loyal reader of your content.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yeah. Comments, concerns? Is this cool? Not worth it? Yeah.
What's the difference between engagement and lead scoring?
Oh, one is scoring leads in Salesforce, and the other one is scoring engagement in Marketing Cloud. Sorry, the question was, what's the difference between Einstein Lead Scoring and Einstein Engagement Scoring? They're both very useful. They both should be used in marketing. They actually score different things, right? One's how are they interacting with your marketing materials and your communication. One is how likely are they, how good of a customer are they going to be, right? That's your lead scoring. Based off their job title, based off of various factors, what company they work for, are they a good customer for you? Okay. I think, questions and answers. Yay. Did I end this early? Wow. Any other questions you got? Yeah?
So, if, for example, if I met somebody
Mhm.
at the show today and we signed them in as a lead, how would that get reflected as a score or an engagement scoring system into this?
Yeah, so you add them into Salesforce, right? They're going to flow into Marketing Cloud, where this is. So and that's where that remainder group was. If you've just started with them, you're going to have no history. So they're not going to know. They're going to go into that remainder category until you start sending them any content, really. So if they're on your web or email or what have you, it will start collecting that data information about them and start putting them in a specific audience type. Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask one question? What do they use the key fields for kind of identifying people? Is it phone numbers, mobile fields, or is it a mix, or is it just email fields?
Yeah, so the question was more about how are contacts or leads known in the system? Is it via email or via mobile? Ideally, we have all that information on them, and it's based off of that lead ID or contact ID in Salesforce, right? So identity management is different than their email address or what have you. So we know their identity via their lead ID, and based off of their mobile phone number that hopefully you're collecting, their email information that you're collecting via you're collecting their device ID and whatever else you can collect, right, through Google Analytics. That's all coming in, and that's how we know who that person is, which is then how we leverage the rest of the marketing campaigns.
So that's Salesforce ID. That's Salesforce ID.
Yeah, exactly, the Salesforce lead ID or contact ID. If you don't have Salesforce, it's whatever system of record you have. You can point that through.
Again, do you think it's worth drilling down into the four audiences that you mentioned? I also hate the word persona, and I
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, so for example, I'm building on this question. You've got people who are loyal to you, right? I mean, you have customers in there, and you have people who not vote for you. So, of course, loyal customers mean more to you because they're paying customers.
Yeah.
And the others are people who might or might not be. So it's worth drilling down and separating this into, by behavior.
Persona, yeah, absolutely.
Not but just like, or for example, dormant people, customers. You have people not interacting in 2 months and 7 months. You can't treat them the same way. So do you think it's worth, if you have the time and resources, of course, because it's a lot of work. Do you think it's worth like separating them even further and segmenting them even further?
Yeah, and I would do it actually opposite direction. So the question was, how do you separate or separate audiences based off of customer type, how often they've been dormant, that kind of information. I would actually do those audience types or persona types before you do the audience type. So you can have a decision split, and actually, if we have extra time, do I want to log in and do this? Yeah, give me a second here. Here, I'm gonna unplug for a minute just while I get this up and running. So we have different audience types, like your customer, current customer, prospect. I don't know who they are, they just signed up for my blog, right? Those could be your audience types. And you would only be sending your email campaigns to a specific group, typically. You're only going to be sending one campaign to your customers and a different campaign to your prospects because you still need to educate them. It's different content they should be interacting with. So that's in the journey when you're deciding who this should be, who's that persona, and then after that you can do your audience type split.
Also, some of your customers could be dormant digitally as well.
Exactly. And it's important to know those, yeah.
Want to interact with them with
Yeah.
another service or product.
That's very true. Sorry, this is, sorry, I'm just gonna log out of this org and log into a different org. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so the nice thing here is that it actually does write it directly as a data extension. So you can know who your dormant people are and collect that information and tie it to their customer record. Sorry, getting my password. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so this is Marketing Cloud, right? I'm going to go to Journey Builder. And so what I would do is I would create a decision split of like who my customers are. And I'm sorry, this is a blank environment, so it's not going to have too much information. But I would do that directly in as like a decision split. So I'm just going to throw this in here. So you're going to have your data extension. You're going to say, okay, customers that went to an event or recently loaded people from London's Calling. Let's say you're actually a sponsor here and you're getting that list, right? So you're loading that list, you're tying them to a campaign. I'm going to throw them into this journey. And then from there, I'm going to do a decision split that says, okay, who's already a customer of mine? Who do we already have in the system and who's new, right? So we could do a decision split of created today, or we could do based off of customer type, whatever data you're collecting in Salesforce, right? And that really just depends on how you guys are categorizing prospects and leads and current customers in Salesforce. So from there, you're going to do your decision split, and we can do a few of them. So you can do like 3 or 4 different paths here. Sorry, I don't have a lot of time to do all of this. But let's say prospects and current customers. From there, you can do your Einstein split and your Einstein split. So you can treat them separately. And that's how you would do it, right? So that you're sending them different content. Yeah. I was like, if you have any other ideas, we'll just create this journey and load me your list, and we got it. We have a few 7 minutes left. Any questions, feedback, items? No? Okay. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot. This is a very, very great functionality. It's really cool, right? It is a travesty how many people have not turned this on. Legitimately, I've worked with hundreds of customers. I've only seen 3 with it turned on. So I'm just going to do my spiel again. You just go here, you go to Einstein Engagement Scoring, and you click the button. That's all you have to do. It's magic. And then you can actually leverage in Journey Builder and everything else that you want to do. So please click your button. Okay. Thank you guys so much.